7 a.m. We're back in session on our budget. Just to recap from yesterday, we had our last one. The insurance people came and talked to us about our county insurance. Basically summarize, and I'll summarize that, and then you correct me if I say something that's not correct. Basically, it looks like as long as we're able to sweep similar amount of money that we normally have been into what we are, where we're at right now, then our insurance should be able to stay the same. We'll have the same coverage and pay the same premium. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
How much did we sweep into that fund last year, Otis?
It was over 500,000.
It was that much?
Yeah, I want to say 525, but I'm not exactly sure.
Do you think it'll be pretty similar this year?
Yes, I do.
Well, we've had 5 individuals that have hit the stop loss. And, you know, when they hit that, we not only lose our expense to them, but then we could recoup for some money.
Yes.
So,
And if you'll notice on that, I left Harold and Mario and Harold, this blue deal right here. And if you'll see that last column there, on the first page, on the green,
okay.
on the green one. Okay, the last column, that's actually what we've already received this year in stop loss, those amounts, okay? And those individuals there are the ones that they've already exceeded the stop loss. So those are the 5 judges referring to. And I can say this, TAC runs about 60 days behind. So I probably just now got April's money. So, just FYI, they give us 100% now that we've met the stop loss of their medical expenses
Which is $40,000
per employee
per year.
per year. Yes, sir.
When we sweep that money into that insurance, do we just put do we put everything there is, or do we just put a certain amount in there?
We just put the top in your budget, when we're going over budget, the summary, which is your salary, your FICA, your retirement, and medical balances that are left at the end of the year. That's all that goes in there, yes. And last year, you didn't throw it all in there. There was more, but y'all had to make a payment for the industrial that we took out of there.
All right, any other questions about the insurance? All right, Melinda's needing a few minutes this morning to do some calculations, so we'll, until she gets here, I'm gonna have Ida's got some stuff for us on personnel and things like that, so we'll talk about that.
Okay, Judge, I'm just gonna make sure I got all my documents with these that are ready. Oh, I can just sit here, right?
Yep.
Are you okay, Carla, for me to be here? Carla, are you okay for me to stand here? I'm just asking. I don't care that you don't put the camera on.
Yes, you're good. No, you're
Okay,
good.
I'm good. Okay, Judge asked me to do a projection for DPS. You want to get into that, Judge?
Well, I just thought, you know, we did a projection on Deborah's person, and
Pass it to Mario.
on all our other requests, we actually have a projection of what it would cost, so I thought it would be fair for us to look at the whole situation on our new budget request. This is what it would cost to hire a 16-hour-a-week administrative assistant for the DPS at a rate of $12 per hour. And so that's just for y'all's information to consider if that's something we want to consider to do. But, you know, it's easier to look and see if we do things, what it's going to eventually cost us. So, like I say, that's one of the reasons I have to do that. So, the other thing, real quick, I'm going to interrupt you. I did talk to Karen Davis yesterday and talked to her about her sign, and she called me back yesterday afternoon when we were in session, and said that, she had talked to the lady was gonna send her a estimate, but she was thinking it was gonna be around $3,000, but the lady was supposed to forward her I guess an official quote. And so we're still waiting on that. I hadn't heard back from Karen, so, I think it may be a little more than that, but I don't know.
I think it will be too.
I do, I think it'd be closer to maybe 7,500, but I don't know.
And she has,
Well, the problem is, I think she has been saving money in her technology fund, but this won't be a technology fund sign.
but I was just saying about the cost.
Yeah,
That's the same.
and so, and then one other thing, real quick, that just come to light this morning. David Hippolito had told me, a month or so ago that we're having lots of issues with the toilets in the Justice Center. Cat Rock's been working on them. The problem is those toilets are a wall mount, and Hillman says getting parts to work on them is really difficult. And so the option is if they go away from the wall mount, they'll have to do the floor mount. But because of the way the building was plumbed, that's gonna require jackhammering and different
Busting
options like
concrete.
that. So I told David, get a hold of him this morning because Sylvia approached me yesterday and said there was some issues. So, I told him to get with Hillman and see if he could repair those, and if nothing else, to get us a quote on what he thought it would cost if we have to convert them to the
Why
floor.
couldn't we just do new wall mounts?
He said something about that you couldn't hardly find them anymore. He said it was sort of they did it back, I guess, whenever we did that building, 15, 20 years ago. But that, I don't know if the industry has gone away from lots of that or what. Anyway, so that may be another potential expense that we may have. And then I did get a quote from Wally on his air units, and they're running at about 9. And so, and of course that expense is the unit and the removal and the installation. So.
That's 5-ton units.
I just saw the price.
That's what I
Examined the
remember.
quote.
That's what he said was up there.
Yeah, I'll bring that on agenda, and so we'll be able to look at that. Just for y'all's information, I know we talked about that, so. All right, Ivy, go ahead.
Okay, Judge, some of this information I'm gonna give you, it's really just, I'm going by my book that I have. So this is everybody on payroll currently as of July 16th. And so that's just a payroll list that we go by, and hopefully we don't. We do it so that we don't miss anybody. We go make changes and increases and decreases or whatever comes about. So there's that.
You didn't have another one?
Oh, sorry, yes, sir. I thought I gave Kenny 2. Sorry about that.
You did, I'm sorry.
Okay.
You did, I think.
You don't like to share.
Okay,
How can I get my name on the increase list?
talk tomorrow. All right, this is what I'm actually wanting to visit with y'all about. This is the retirement system that we got for 2021. You'll pass this down to Carla too. There's 3.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, Judge.
Thank you.
That's a good one to start.
Lydia and Lorena. Okay, I did have a conversation with Ralph Wallace yesterday. He said if you wanted to call him, he would be glad to speak to y'all. If you look at the first page,
The one hand out, I know.
the one I just handed you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't do it more.
Okay, this is just saying, this is their recommendation for the projected 2021 year. And they're talking about with the pandemic and not knowing what the market's gonna do. And it's not been bad, y'all know that yet. We don't know what it's gonna do, but as far as, it's looking good as far as the market goes. but I don't even wanna go there, cause I don't know, you know, I mean, who knows, if we all knew we'd be rich, but, I do wanna tell you, they're recommending that we stay within our rate, with the rate that we're doing right now. If you'll go to the third page, the very last page, I'm sorry, the very last page on the bottom, you know where it says reason for rate change? We're at 1770, Judge,
Yeah.
and it decreased to 1667, okay? If you'll remember the dip in '08, it really affected us, our rate went up. And it's not because we're in trouble or anything, because if you notice, they recommend we stay above 80%. At the very bottom of that little square, it says we're at 83.8. And if we do the 17, then we'll jump up. But they're just saying, we would advise y'all to do the current rate, just to make sure we don't fall behind. Okay? So with that said, I want to get your attention to where it says the demographic and other changes.
Where's that at,
It's on the same little bottom square where it says 2017, 2018, 18.
Okay.
Okay, it says demographic and other
Okay.
changes. Okay, this fluctuates with any changes in the plan. He says, you notice it's a positive 138 for current year, okay? It's what they're projecting. Now, this isn't as of effective date or past 6 months. This is what they're projecting for this year. So we're at 1.38 in the positive. In the past, if that experience is based on the changes as far as the county goes, as far as whether we got more employees, when y'all add employees, people leaving and withdrawing their portion. Because anytime you withdraw, you lose the county match. Now, a lot of people that don't stay and to be vested, they'll do that. And even people that are vested, take it. You will never get the county's portion unless you retire with the benefit and you receive the annuity payment. That's how you're that's the only time you're gonna see the county's portion. And you're not ever going to be able to take out half of it or whatever. You're just all or none. So he said our demographic have changed by employee increase and employee withdrawals when they terminate employment. Okay? So he wanted to bring that to your attention. He said this year, right now, we're currently year to date we're being affected by negative 0.85. I'm talking worldwide, as far as how things are looking, not just Hale County. So the experience is always based on the year before. So like these numbers for 2020 were based on experience for 2019, and then next year's are based on 2020. So they look good. He's just saying, or TCDRS is saying, we recommend you stay where you're at because you really went down, and to be better funded. That's up to y'all. 1% is lots of money with what we're talking about. So with TCDRS, that's what I have. The first page, the actual second, let me make sure I got the second page, which has the little flag on the top. That's just telling y'all how the participation benefits with TCDRS. We are matching 7%. I'm sorry, we contribute 7%. The matching is 200%. And the ways to retire, 60 years of age, roll of 75, and anything after 30 years. We don't give partial payments, and that's what I was referring to. As long as you're active, you have life insurance, one time your salary. This is aside from the medical that provides a $15,000 benefit, unless you're over the age of 65 and it starts scaling down. The retirement plan funding, that's where we get the calculation, and if you'll notice, the required rate is 1667. This year it's 1770, okay? The 0.18% is the retirement rate. The group life rate that we have that I just said, the one-time year salary, that's what that portion is. And so it comes to 16.85. we have to add that, but that kind of stayed pretty consistent. And then it goes into the accrual liabilities and the accrual value assets, and that's how, it says over and underfunded, and we're at 6,370,716. And that's what we're underfunded, which brings us to the 85.4%. Okay?
I know that, on the fourth page, we just went over the demographic and other parties.
Uh-huh.
You know, 2019, 2020, we're a plus, 1.38, and that's because of the history, right?
He said
Because
that
of our
the
history.
demographic area, which means our changes in payroll, because all of this is based on payroll.
Mhm.
So it's the increase in employees, he said, and the withdrawals when people leave.
The money that's
So,
being left back behind,
yeah,
right?
because if you leave and you withdraw it, you don't get the county's portion, which means that anybody that, it just helps the retirement plan look better for the people that are staying on and retiring to full benefit.
So really, when you go across to the next column, it says 2021, that's projection for next year, and that's not even, so really, that could be a plus when we sit down here.
Yeah,
next
it
year.
could be, yeah, it
So
could be,
that
but that's
really-
the unknown. I mean, we're
Yeah.
here sitting projecting what we're thinking is gonna happen in 2021, and,
Yeah, exactly.
you know,
But I was just wondering, because you look at a plus 138, then you look, oh, crap, it's a negative 98, but those are just, that's not, that's just a projection. The real number is at 1.38. That's the real number. I mean, the history.
Yes.
I have a question. If, the county matches you after 8 years,
yes, sir.
or you get the county
Your 8 years.
after 8 years, but while you're going up that ladder, we still set aside our matching funds?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So the day you're hired and that first paycheck, when they take $100, let's say, for the county setting aside $100
$200.
or $200.
Yes,
And
sir.
that's the money that's coming.
Okay, and so that's how, even when people leave after 2 years and say, I want my money, then we're able to set
The
it.
200 that
That's
you set
200
aside.
our side, we can get, roll back in.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. That's why the changes happen and how it fluctuates.
I just didn't know if you waited till the point in which you were vested for the money to be put in.
Yeah.
You're saying it goes along as it goes along. Okay.
And that's how that column usually does.
And we do this contribution every payroll,
Okay.
okay? And then we balance and report at the end of the month. We do a report to CT, and we make sure that we're squared with those funds.
So the lower turnover like this year will affect it. Because if no one's quitting, then they're not
Correct.
opting to take their retirement.
Correct.
So,
And it all kind of dominoes, Judge, because you were asking me about, well, we were talking previously about the medical insurance. You know, if our turnover is not, that's why we get those reserves. You know, it's our turnover and expenses and revenue. And so, our sheriff being our bigger department, if his department is staying, which we know he is, he's not on the agenda every month or every report. So, for that reason, we're staying consistent. So his budget is going and not just, okay, not,
Yeah.
the expenditures are not, the revenue is not greater than the expenditures balance as far as that goes. Okay? So, FYI.
all right.
That's what I wanted to talk to y'all about because I think that's something y'all might want to consider. Ralph said he'd be available if y'all wanted to talk, so if y'all have any questions for him.
And but his recommendation was leave it at the end.
GCDRS is recommending that we leave it as is, yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, the next thing I'm gonna give y'all is the salary schedule, which means this is everybody on our payroll with the dollar amount, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna also give you the pay schedule so that y'all have something to, Carla, I already gave you one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's in my car, can I?
Okay. If I don't have enough,
Yeah,
I'm
that's fine.
passing you one, okay? Here you go. Okay, good. 1, 2, 3 for you. And I'll remove this first. Okay, that's just for information only. I don't really have anything to say on that. I just make sure y'all have one. I do kind of want to, just because we did go over it already under the insurance, Judge, but I did want to say that, I don't have a copy of this for everybody, but every year, you know, with our unemployment fund, it's projected what it's going to do for, what the rate's going to be for the next year, okay? So with that said, they take like a 3 or 4 year experience, and based on experience, they project what our rate should be. And I've got this from, the rate did not change, so we're paying 0.009 of payroll totals. So we have a very low rate the last 3 years. This year we got $3,939.86. The prior years we received $13,000. And that's just because we're well funded and our unemployment rates are not bad. In fact, for this year, I've got one claim, and this was not a claim that I could have fought because it was, the individual left and had a little period of time and filed unemployment, and they received one payment of $150.79. So that's at $150.79. That's the only experience we have this year. And so I just wanted to let y'all know that the rates been staying real low on
You
that.
said that was a 3-year average,
Yes, sir.
so how many have we had in 3 years? One?
Like I said, this is on 2019. And then this year, I don't have any, I don't believe. And then the year before, I can't imagine that we had maybe 1 or 2, okay?
Those haven't filed, but they.
Oh, they filed, but we can test them and we're good. Okay, so now, thank you. Now, the next one is unemployment, and I did want to go over, workers' comp. So workers' comp kind of fluctuates, depends on injury. I have talked to TAC, and TAC has talked to Mr. Hippolito. We're going to start doing more training in the precincts and trying to do like safety measures, okay? Because our problem is in the precincts and in the sheriff's office. So we did do some training in your department, David, this year. I had TAC come in and they did a couple of trainings for him. So, and we did, I believe we did also HR stuff for him. So we are working towards that, so I just wanted to let y'all know that we're good in the retirement also. We got a discount on it, on the unemployment, I said retirement, on unemployment, workers' comp. Good Lord, I have too much to say. Workers' comp, we did get a discount of $75.39, and that's why I picked up on training, because I think we need it, because it's not doing like the unemployment that stays steady and good. Workers' comp is an expense. Next year is going to cost us about $70,000. Okay? But last year it cost, or this year, current year, $67. So it's not, it's just an increase, projected increase. Okay? I'm trying to give Melinda time here, guys.
If you need to,
A lot of good information.
if you need to, we can take a little break.
Okay. Let me just make sure that I've given you everything that you'll need for today, Judge. I think that's all I have. I really do. I think I've given you everything that will help you figure out what we need to do for 2021 as far as payroll goes.
Okay, all right.
They got it.
Well, thank you for the information and thank you for what you do. Like I said, lots of those unemployment bills, or you got the unemployment bills, if you don't address those, they get automatic. And Ida's good about, talking to them and challenging some of those, so.
We were here last night, Melinda and I, and she was just trying to commit suicide in her office, I guess, because she kept running into stuff.
Kicking stuff, I mean.
Kinda hurt
So now
this
she's
morning.
vaping.
Got twisted in my ankle.
So your Chester's auditor.
More wounds.
That's what I handed out.
This,
TCDRS. I already gave you a copy though.
yeah.
And then the payroll stuff. The schedules and salary, pay salary.
You need it.
Just a minute to get.
Why don't we take about a 5-minute break, let Melinda get all her stuff situated. So, here for moral support, or do you want to talk to us?
No.
Okay.
He just likes hanging around.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's the first one that ain't had somebody at the office or something.
If he likes hanging around with us, he needs to get a new life.
He's pretty bored, isn't he?
Yeah. He needs to work on something else.
Now, that first morning we had, budget, Carla said that at 1.2 years, and so I went down there and said, are you watching us on YouTube? She said, yeah, for a little while, and then it got boring.
You said she'd been there.
You know, there are actually a few people that look at that. I don't think there's many, but.
I think more go back and watch it
Yeah.
after we've done it
Yeah.
than our own live.
It's unbelievable, just the stuff they put in the